All Renegades of Puck to their trenches. Welcome to the bunker. I'm your host and captain, Crazy Charlie Saunier. This is Renegades of Puck TV. Remember, you can always find out everything about the Renegades of Puck by going to renegadesofpuck.com. Right there, you will find links to everything about the Renegades of Puck, including links to our merchandise page. You can find our classic logo tee, or you can find a whole assortment of items with the Renegades of Puck logo on it. Also, make sure you check out our brand new alternate logo. We've got plenty of options in the store and plenty of great things coming. We've sold out so you can buy in. Support independent hockey coverage by picking up a great t-shirt or a throw pillow or a pair of socks or a coffee mug or whatever it is that you would like to have around your house that has the Renegades of Puck logo. And of course, it is the perfect time of year to buy something, a perfect gift for the Renegade in your life. So go ahead and check that out at renegadesofpuck.com. All of the social media platforms. We really need your support and we really need your help in all of those. Give us a subscription on YouTube. We're over 100 now and we want to keep building that. The more subscribers we get, the more of a force we can be in a positive way out there in the hockey universe. So again, that is YouTube. Check us out there. Give us a like on Facebook. Make sure you are sharing those links. Give us a comment and make sure you are letting the Renegades that you know in your life on Facebook know how to get in touch with the show, how to find the show. We are still building this thing one Renegade at a time, and that is where we depend on you and social media. So make sure you're going to Facebook and giving us a like and also passing those links along. On Twitter, at Renegades of Puck. It's the easiest thing. Give us a follow. You can interact with the Renegades of Puck right there. We're always up for the conversation, so make sure you are following along, retweeting, giving a like, and making sure, again, that each and every one of the Renegades in your life, in your timeline, know about the show. The more people we can reach, the faster we can reach them, the better. We're going to keep producing this content. We're going to keep building these trenches 1 inch at a time, one Renegade at a time, and we sure do appreciate each and every one of you for helping us do that. And of course, remember Twitch, the behind-the-scenes feed and stream that we run live during the tapings of Renegades of Puck TV. That's where, if there are going to be any colossal mistakes, if I'm going to lose my mind and get a little bit angry about some things, that's where you're going to see it happen, right there on Twitch. So again, it's a different presentation. It's just another way that you can consume the product known as Renegades of Puck TV. After all, we are an entertainment entity, the essence of no half-stepping, and a very unique presentation. So we want to give you as many opportunities, as many options as you can possibly get to be involved with the Renegades of Puck. We have some incredible sponsors here at the Renegades of Puck, and it starts with Rebirth Sports. This jersey right here and so many other jerseys that you've seen me wear while playing hockey in the past, not just for the Mighty Drunks, not just in tournament play, but all over the place. The entire landscape of hockey has been made to look better by Rebirth Sports, and you can find out a lot more about them by going to rebirthsports.com or looking on Facebook or Twitter for Rebirth Sports. Fantastic partners, great people, and their work is just absolutely top-notch. Stripe Digital Solutions not only help create this logo, but helps maintain the website renegadesofpuck.com and is also helping me create a marketing plan to help us get out there in front of more and more Renegades. Again, one Renegade at a time right here in the trenches. Stripe Digital Solutions can be found on Facebook and Instagram or by going to stripedigitalsolutions.com. Make sure you let our partners know that you are excited to learn about them from being in the trenches with the Renegades of Puck. And of course, Strong Style Fitness, 150 workouts now on demand, ready for you for a certified personal trainer right there on YouTube. Completely donation-based from beginner level to expert level. Whatever you need to get you moving, get you motivated. Tracy is one incredible trainer, and you should definitely be checking out everything related to Strong Style Fit. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Just search for Strong Style Fit, and you will find her right there. No reason to give out the grievance line right now because the Nashville Predators picked up a big win at Bridgestone Arena. Much different game than we saw against the Vegas Golden Knights. I will be telling you all about that here in just a moment. But first, you're here for the No Half Step in hockey coverage. It's a back-to-back, and we excel when it comes to these limited time frames and windows. There's rarely another group can put out content as quickly as we can. So the Renegades of Puck are here to give you the information and give you the goods. Let's get into it right away. After Friday's action, the Nashville Predators find themselves in third place in the Central Division. They've played 20 games on the season, or 1/4 of the game games on the schedule. They have a record of 11-8-1. They have 23 points. They find themselves 4 points behind the Minnesota Wild for first place in the Central Division. They are tied for second place with the St. Louis Blues. Same number of games played with all of those teams. Just behind the Nashville Predators is the Winnipeg Jets with 22 points. And then in fifth place, you'll find the Colorado Avalanche. They've only played 17 games on the season. It's the least amount in the Central Division. They have a record of 10-6-1. They have 21 points, and they are the Nashville Predators' next opponent. First of 4 meetings of the season. This is the first of 2 that will take place out in Denver, Colorado. The first and the last meeting will take place out there in Colorado, and the middle 2 frames will take place here in Nashville at Bridgestone Arena. Now, for this Colorado Avalanche team, first time the Nashville Predators have seen them in quite a while, because after all, last year during the newly aligned divisions, the Nashville Predators were not in the division with their regular rival, the Colorado Avalanche. So it's the first time we've seen this team in quite some time. The Colorado Avalanche, as you would expect, are quite the prolific scoring team. 67 goals for on the season, a home record of 6-2-1. But the Nashville Predators have a very good road record this season so far, 5-4-1, and they have gone into some very difficult buildings and come away with some victories. So I expect this to be a big-time matchup in the Central Division between third place and fifth place, right about the quarter mark of the season for the Central Division. Now, of course, the Colorado Avalanche, I already mentioned it. They are a prolific scoring team. Goals for at 3.88 per game. That is best overall in the NHL, but they're giving up 3.18 goals against per game, and that is 24th in the NHL. The Nashville Predators scoring numbers are not going to look nearly as impressive, but the Preds are finding a way to get it done so far. At 2.75 goals per game, that is 19th best in the NHL, and the Nashville Predators have scored 56 goals total on the season. Goals against 2.85 is 15th in the NHL. The Preds moving up just a tiny bit in shots for 28.5 to 27th, but still not good enough overall with 32.9 shots on net per game. That is 10th best in the NHL for the Colorado Avalanche. When you take a look at the special teams units, this might seem a little bit different than what you've seen in the past. The Nashville Predators have the better power play unit through the 20-game mark of the season. The Nashville Predators have the 5th best power play in the entire NHL. They've scored 14 times out of 57 opportunity, or 25.9%. Colorado Avalanche are 12th best in the NHL, converting at 20.3%. 14 times, 69 opportunities. Now, on the penalty kill, neither of these teams are highly impressive. 79.7% is 21st in the NHL for the Preds. They've given up 13 power play goals against. The Colorado Avalanche have given up 12 power play goals against, but 74.5% only finds them in 27th in the NHL. For the Colorado Avalanche, up until the game that they just played tonight, they had been on quite a hot streak as of late. On the 17th of November, it was a 4-2 win at Vancouver. They followed that up on the 19th with a 7-3 win at Seattle, and then scored 7 again in their next game on the 22nd, and that was versus Ottawa, and then picked up a 5-2 victory versus the Anaheim Ducks before falling 3-1 at Dallas earlier this evening, while the Nashville Predators were taking on the New Jersey Devils. Kemper went 19 out of 22 in that game and took the loss. The Avs won't be back on the ice after the Nashville Predators game until Wednesday when they are in Toronto. So with Kemper getting the start and taking the loss in Dallas tonight, that means we will be seeing Johansson in net at the record of 1-1, a .905 save percentage, and 3.23 goals against average. It will be a battle of the backups in Denver, Colorado, as Nashville Predators backup goaltender David Rittich will get his second start of the season. He's currently got a record of 1-0, a .933 save percentage, and a 198 goals against average. He did get an opportunity to come in relief recently and did look very good in that small opportunity. When it comes to statistics, yes, the Nashville Predators have looked impressive, in Matt Duchene in most of these matchups that we feature. He has been the leading scorer overall in the matchup, but not in this scenario. Looking on the other side at the Colorado Avalanche, Kadri, 7 goals and 18 assists is good for 25 points. Landeskog, 6 goals and 12 assists is 18 points. Cale Makar, 9 goals and 8 assists is 17 points. And Mikko Rantanen, 7+7 for 14. Now, you've got to be wondering, why haven't I mentioned Nathan MacKinnon yet? That's because he is, in fact, on injured reserve currently, and that goes back to the 21st of November. Nashville Predators statistics, injury-wise, looking very good right now. The Nashville Predators are actually a very healthy squad through the 20-game mark of the season. Now that Philip Forsberg is back in the lineup and picking up right where he left off. Matt Duchene still leads the team in scoring, 12 goals and 9 assists for 21 points. Roman Jossi's got 7 goals and 13 assists for 20 points. Mikael Granlund, 5 goals and 15 assists for 20 points. And then Ryan Johansson at 6 goals and 10 assists for 16 points. The Nashville Predators, once they wrap up this back-to-back in Denver, Colorado, they will have an opportunity to come back home and at least get one day off. Tuesday, they will face off against the Columbus Blue Jackets at Bridgestone Arena. Then Thursday, they'll welcome the Boston Bruins. And Saturday, the Montreal Canadiens will be here in Nashville to take on the Nashville Predators before the Preds head out to take on Detroit and the New York Islanders on December the 7th and December the 9th. We are already a quarter of the way through this NHL season, and for a Nashville Predators team that wasn't expected or predicted to be anything, this Nashville Predators team has found a way to surprise us quite a few times. Now listen, there is still very much a Jekyll and Hyde component to this Nashville Predators team, and some nights you just don't know what you're going to get. In Toronto, they forgot how to play offense. In Montreal, they forgot how to play defense. Against Las Vegas, they forgot how to play hockey altogether. But then they put games together, like against Anaheim, like against St. Louis, like against Calgary, like against Minnesota, against Dallas, and yes, even against a bad team like New Jersey. And you start to wonder, what can this team become going into the next quarter of the season, the third quarter of the season, the fourth quarter of the season? When will we know what this team really is? I actually suspect that we're not going to know what this team truly is or who they truly are until well into the third quarter of the season, into maybe the beginnings of the fourth quarter of the season. And if the Nashville Predators can find a way to just stay above 500 and keep remaining somewhat consistent, then at some point they can get hot, go on a run, and find themselves in a really good place. But that's just my assessment through the first quarter of the season, that we really don't know who this team is, but they are better than what a lot of people anticipated they would be. The record of 11-8-1 is certainly better than what most people predicted they would be after seeing the matchups they had in the early part of the schedule this season. And they've proven they can go up and go toe-to-toe with a couple of really good teams. UC Saros gives this team a good chance almost every night. And when you have Roman Josi, a Norris Trophy winning, and probably right up there again, maybe winning it again this year, when you have Roman Josi leading the team and leading the offense, and Matt Duchene finally finding that spark and that fire, you have no idea what this Nashville Predators team can end up being by the end of the season. But that is exactly why you'll just need to tune into Renegades of Puck TV each and every day right here, coming to you from the bunker. Now listen, we've got an entire game to recap, and I've got a lot of detail to give you. So you give me 10 minutes, I'll give you the game. You give the Renegades of Puck an additional 10 minutes, and we'll give you all the stats, analysis, and opinions that you need to get you all set up and get you all started. We'll recap New Jersey, and then we'll let the Renegades of Puck do a little bit of talking about everything that's going to happen between the Devils and the Nashville Predators from tonight, and what's going to happen tomorrow night in Denver, Colorado, between the Preds and the Avalanche. It was the day after Thanksgiving, known as Black Friday, and the Nashville Predators had an early start against the New Jersey Devils, an Eastern Conference opponent with an early start time and a lot of sleepy people from a lot of turkey. Here's how we get set up for the Nashville Predators and the New Jersey Devils at Bridgestone Arena. Your line combinations are Tolvanen, Johansson, and Cunnin, Forsberg, Granlund, and Duchene, Trennan, Sissons, and Janot, Cousins, Novak, and Tomasino. Your defensive pairings are Josi and Fabro, Ekholm and Carrier, Borowiecki and Benning, and UC Saros gets the start in net on Friday night, which means David Riddick will be in net against the Colorado Avalanche on Saturday night. 56 seconds into the first period, Bernier's got a save on Tolvanen's backhand attempt, a really sneaky good scoring attempt by Ellie Tolvanen right here, or however it was that Kevin Weeks was saying his name on the broadcast. We go to the 6:27 mark of the first period, and Johansson's got a 2 minutes for roughing penalty. It was actually ended up being a boarding call. We see Duchene, though, pick up a penalty almost immediately, 2 minutes for hooking, and it's a 4-on-4 for 1 minute and 49 seconds. Roman Josi is able to pick up his 7th goal of the season during this scenario. He looks past but takes the shot. Bernier gets caught cheating. The Nashville Predators have a 1-0 lead with the captain's goal on home ice over the New Jersey Devil at 6:27 of the first period. 8:27 of the first period. Subban's off the box, 2 minutes for slashing on Granlund. He prevented a goal. He did what he had to do in this situation, or else Granlund easily would have tucked this puck right past Bernier's pad and inside the post. So PK Subban off to the box. We see Matt Duchene getting robbed by Bernier with the glove after a perfect Granlund pass across the slot. Duchene then gets a rebound off the back wall and gets a good scoring opportunity. And this one almost finds its way into the back of the net. 13:03 of the first period. Forsberg's off the box, 2 minutes for slashing. UC Saros has to come up with a big save on BC's jam attempt. Granlund, great job of boxing out at the top of the crease, as well as the other Nashville Predators defenders, keeping everyone away from the loose puck and getting it out of the danger area. The Nashville Predators would outshoot the New Jersey Devils in the end of the first period by a total of 9-2. 32 seconds into the second period, Bernier's got to come out with a big save on Sisson's scoring opportunity. So the Preds with the second period in a row with a good scoring chance off of the opening shift. At 3:03 of the second, UC Saros comes with a save on Mercer. The puck leaks through, but the Nashville Predators defenders are able to keep it off of the goal line, allowing just 27 seconds later Philip Tomasino to pick up his fourth goal of the season with a redirect from the pass by Cousins at the top of the crease. 2-0 lead in favor of the Nashville Predators on home ice over the New Jersey Devils at 8:09. Bernier comes with a save on Tomasino at the back post. Great save here by Jonathan Bernier. 9:01, Dougie Hamilton's off to the box. 2 minutes for kneeing. The power play just simply not very good for the Nashville Predators. I just talked about how they have one of the highest ranked power plays in the NHL, but they did not show any signs of that right here on this opportunity. As a matter of fact, the New Jersey Devils get a little bit of momentum coming out of this penalty kill, and for the first time, they generate just a little bit of pressure in this game. The Nashville Predators are able to respond, though, because at 17:29, Bernier comes with a big save on Fabro. This is the Preds' 20th shot on goal already. 18:23. Tolvanen gets a shot on Bernier. It has to be stopped, and we hit the end of the second period with Nashville out shooting New Jersey 22-9 and also holding a lead on home ice. 1:16 into the third period. Saros comes up with a save on Pratt at 1:53. Saros comes up with a save on White at 6:30. Saros is coming up with a save on Hischier, and it's the seventh shot on goal for the New Jersey Devils, and they only had 9 in the first 40 minutes of this game. So in the first 6.5 minutes of the third period, the New Jersey Devils are generating their best series of offensive opportunities towards UC Saros, but he is able to stand tall, and the Nashville Predators are able to respond. Mikhail Granlund at 6:45 picks up his 5th goal of the season. Duchene pass from Gretzky's office to Granlund crashing. It was the first shot on goal of the period by the Nashville Predators, and it finds its way to the back of the net. Great job, great vision, unchallenged, uncontested. Matt Duchene just standing behind the net, just waiting for Granlund to get himself in the perfect spot to go ahead and convert this one into the upper corner. The Preds with a 3-0 lead. The Devils would respond as they'd get outworked. The Preds would be outworked on the forecheck in a 1-on-3 scenario that then leads to a tic-tac-toe to the back of the net, beating UC Saros. The Devils are able to cut the lead to 3-1. 16:32. Saros stops Bratt yet again in this game. 18:08. Bernier comes up with a save on Sisson's deflection at close range. We see the empty net scenario at 1:42 remaining in the game, and then we see Carrier able to cash in from 200 feet with the second goal of the season into the empty net. The Nashville Predators take a 4-1 lead, and things seem to be wrapped up, but at 19:33, Thomas Tatar gets a breakaway in his third goal of the season. He beats the poke check by UC Saros and leaves the 5-hole wide open. The puck slides right over the goal line and in. A useless goal for the New Jersey Devils, but it makes the score look a little bit closer. 4-2 is your final at Bridgestone Arena, and the Nashville Predators, on the very brief 3-game homestand over Thanksgiving week, are able to collect 4 out of a total 6 points. The middle game of this week was absolutely dreadful against the Las Vegas Golden Knights. The Nashville Predators simply did not have it in that game at all. But a very good win against the Anaheim Ducks, and again, a very good win against the New Jersey Devils. Let's remember, while the New Jersey Devils don't have the most impressive record, they have shown at times they can jump up and beat some really good teams, including a highly impressive effort very recently against the Tampa Bay Lightning. So for the Nashville Predators, good professional victory on home ice tonight. They turn things around immediately and go off to Denver, Colorado to face off against their division rival, the Colorado Avalanche, in the first of 4 meetings this season. We've got a lot to talk about. We've got a lot to break down, so let's get right into that. I've got the box score in my hand here, and I want to talk first about UC Saros. UC Saros in this game was very good when he was asked to be. When the Devils came out and had a lot of pressure early in the third period, UC Saros easily had his best sequence of the game. The Preds left him hung out to dry just a little bit in the third period as they took their foot off the gas, but Saros still remains strong, and he gives this team a chance to win each and every night. I thought that the ESPN broadcast did a good job of talking about UC Saros and how he has emerged as a new franchise starting goaltender and a reliable franchise starting goaltender. He really does give you Preds fans an opportunity to win the game every single night. In this game, he was 23 out of 25, and I have to go and find out what the starting goaltender of the Renegades of Puck thought about his performance tonight. Haven't talked to him in a couple of shows now, so let's hear everything he's got to say. You can find him on Twitter at GreekGoalie35. You can watch him right here on Renegades of Puck TV. He is, of course, Mostradamus. Mosh, it's all yours.
Thank you, Charlie. I hope you Renegades out there have had a happy, safe, and thankful holiday weekend up to this point. The Nashville Predators welcome you back to hockey season with a nice 4-2 victory over the New Jersey Devils at Bridgestone Arena. Impressive defensive performance from Nashville after giving up a 5 spot to the Vegas Golden Knights on Wednesday, doing their job. And you can't just say, well, it's the New Jersey Devils. They don't have any really big name talent you have to worry about. New Jersey's a young, hard-working team, so don't sleep on this victory. Just kind of dismiss it as a bad team. Well, they didn't play down to their competition this time around. New Jersey went into Tampa Bay and put up 5 goals against Vasilevsky and the 2-time defending Stanley Cup champions. So it's a good performance by Nashville, and they get 2 out of 3 on this homestand before they head out to Colorado tomorrow night. Jonathan Bernier stopped 27 out of 30, but really, he kept his team in it. He did go with a bad goal to Roman Josi, of course, to start things off, but he really kept his team in this game. The Nashville Predators completely dominated the first 40 minutes. Could have very easily been 3 or 4-0 before the second intermission came to be. The UC Saros, very light workload, only 9 shots on goal through 2 periods, 25 shots on goal to finish things up, 16 in the third period for New Jersey, so his workload did increase some, and of course he did give up 2 goals. Would have liked a strong finish to the game by Nashville defensively. This is the second time now. You look back at the Arizona game, similarly, he had a shutout going through 2 periods, completely dominating the game, have a multiple goal lead, and they kind of let off the gas a little bit and let the other team get a goal to ruin a possible shutout for Saros. And of course, you get the second goal by Tatar on a cherry pick, but New Jersey was trying to do that all night long, and Nashville did a great job defending against that home run pass all night long. 4-1, 30 seconds left in the game. You know, it's okay. It did not ruin the shutout, at least on that goal. Next up for Nashville, the Colorado Avalanche tomorrow night, who are on a 6-game winning streak before their game tonight against Dallas. Dallas was whipping up on them 3-0 through 2 periods. And Colorado, 6-game winning streak, very impressive winning streak, by the way. This was not just, winning 2-1, 3-2 here and there. They were averaging 6 goals per game during this 6-game stretch. 36-15 was the total score in those 6 games before tonight's game at Dallas. So, and the Avalanche did start Darcy Kemper tonight as well. So you have to wonder, Darcy Kemper started tonight. UC Saros also started tonight. Do you come back with David Riddick tomorrow? Given Saros's very light workload, we've seen Hines in the past, in the bubble at least, go with UC Saros on back-to-back nights after a light workload. So it is certainly possible Saros can see the game tomorrow night. I would venture to think no. It's against Colorado's backup with Jonas Johansson in net for them. You put David Riddick in there, play it safe. You don't need to stress UC Saros. He's already going to play probably 65 to 70 games this season anyway. This is a game you're facing a backup goaltender. Yes, it's a division rival, but you go out there, put Riddick in there. He's going to need to get some workload in as well throughout the season. So it'll be backup goaltenders tomorrow night in Colorado. The Preds, good victory. Have some more of that tomorrow. Charlie, back to you.
You can find him on Twitter at GreekGoalie35. You can watch him right here on Renegades of Puck TV. He is the starting goaltender of the Renegades of Puck. He is, of course, Mostradamus, and I always love listening to Mosh talk about everything that happens between the pipes. What other show out there has a goaltender that's willing to come on and give you full breakdown and analysis of each and every performance, each and every game? Mosh is the best. Appreciate you jumping in the trenches, Mosh. And before we get to Sean C. Smith, let me go over a couple of numbers from the box score for the forwards and the defensemen. Your goal scorers tonight were Mikhail Granlund and Philip Tomasino. On the defensive side, Carrier and Yossi chip in with goals. The Nashville Predators always getting contributions from the defensive side of things on the offense. Assists, a plethora of players getting assists tonight. Cousins and Duchesne and Forsberg. Johansson gets 2 on the night. Carrier and Yossi also with assists on this game. Leading the team in shots on goal is Roman Yossi with 5, and then you had 4 players with 3. Granlund, Tolvanen, Trennan, and Ekholm all with 3. Leading the team in hits tonight was Trennan with 3. And, of course, Mikhail Granlund led the team in time on ice. Noted on the broadcast as well a couple of different times about how he had significantly more minutes than anyone else there. 19-22 in time on ice out of the forward grouping. The next closest to him was Forsberg at 17-25. And I just wanted to note that because that is great news to see Philip Forsberg getting his legs back under him. And he looked very good out there again on the ice tonight. And he's picked up the scoring right where he left off. So that is good for the Nashville Predators because I don't even think he's really caught back up to the speed of the game yet. It takes a lot when you're out for almost 10 games to catch back up with the game. So that takes care of the box score, takes a look inside the numbers. You've got your full recap. There was one other thing that happened tonight at Bridgestone Arena, and it was something that I had planned to talk about, but Sean C. Smith asked if he could take this topic, and I said, absolutely you can, Sean C. Smith. And it was concerning some fans. I'm not going to say the fans' attitude, but there were some fans at Bridgestone Arena tonight that seemed to think it appropriate to boo PK Subban as he was out there on the ice for the New Jersey Devils. Now, I know Sean C. Smith has some very, very strong opinions coming up here in just a couple of seconds, but I just want to set that up by saying, why would you boo PK Subban? He played here for 3 seasons, the 3 best seasons in Nashville Predators franchise history. With PK Subban here as a Nashville Predator, the Preds won 2 Central Division titles. They won a Western Conference title, and they also won the President's Trophy, and they went to a Stanley Cup final. The 3 best seasons in franchise history all took place under PK Subban while he was here. He was outstanding. Did he put up the stats that some of you wanted? No, not at times, but he was a great player for this team. He was great in this community. He embraced everything that was Nashville, and he was great for this team. So for the people that booed PK Subban tonight, I just don't understand that. He was traded for, and he was traded away. He never had any option in whether he was here or whether he was gone. PK Subban was great for this community. Sean C. Smith, you can find his work at ontheforecheck.com. You can also find him right here on Renegades of Puck TV, and you can find him on Twitter at SCSOTF. Sean's got some very strong words to say right now, and I hope each and every one of you will take a moment to listen. Sean, it's all yours.
Thanks, Charlie. Hey, Renegades. Sean C. Smith back again, coming to you after this big Preds win against the New Jersey Devils. I want to start off by talking about something I saw during the game that I think we should all be pretty excited about, and that is Philip Tomasino. Philip Tomasino got to the net front, and that's something we've been screaming about for a long time as Preds fans, is getting someone to the front of the net. Now, it's been a lot better recently with Mikhail Granlund and several others who aren't afraid to get up there where it gets a little bit dirty and nasty. But Tomasino is going up there with a heck of a lot of skill and a heck of a lot of fearlessness, which is impressive to me because that's a place where it gets a little dicey. But here's the thing. He's a young kid. And I'm going to say this. We've seen some moments over the past few games where Tomasino finds himself alone in front of the goalie with the puck. And it's kind of become a recurring theme where there's been a few issues with him following through and being able to score the goal. But I don't think that's anything to panic about. The fact that he keeps finding himself there is a huge positive, and it's what we should want as Preds fans. I think given his skill and his youth, it's just going to take a little bit of time before he's able to start burying those attempts. And when he does, look out, because those goals are going to start pouring on, and it's going to be incredible. If you got to see the ESPN Plus or Hulu broadcast, then Barry Melrose, after the game, had a lot to say about Philip Tomasino, with heavy praise for him, said that this is a kid you're going to need to look out for. And the one thing I like that he said, he wasn't afraid of getting his stick out there, getting his hands in the way of the slashing and stuff that goes on in front of the net, and that he was definitely a talented kid, and he was going to turn into something big for this team. I also want to talk about Dante Fabro, because Fabro is a player who, over the past season or so, we've heard a lot of negative things about his play and that he's not living up to what everybody expected him to be. But let me say this. I think he had a killer game. I think he played really well, and I saw him cover for a lot of mistakes that other players made. Now, I'm not saying that we had tons of players making mistakes all over the ice, but I have heard complaints before about other players having to cover for mistakes that Dante Fabro has made. So it's encouraging to me to see that change. I also want to say that Fabro brought a really strong mustache game to the ice tonight that I think made everybody else on that team stand up and pay attention. So everybody look out on the mustache end of things. Now, I also want to talk about this. The Predators are going to be playing the Colorado Avalanche. And if you aren't paying attention to the Colorado Avalanche right now, and I mean right now, as I'm recording this, it is between the second and third period for Colorado and Dallas. And they're playing in Dallas, and they're losing 3-0 to the Stars. Now, they've got to travel back home, just like the Preds have to travel to Colorado. For both teams, this is a sludge game, or a game where they're on the tail end of a back-to-back. So if they come out of this game getting their butts whipped, and the Predators have had kind of an easy runnings with the Devils, you could see a really fired-up team in Colorado playing against a team that's a little bit more well-rested and probably not as angry. So there could be some potential for the Avalanche to take some ugly penalties, maybe be trying to prove a few things that they couldn't prove the night before. But there's also the chance that, and this is the other situation, maybe they come back and put up a big fight and win or tie or almost win or something like that, and they come back wanting to prove that they can take the Preds on and not have to deal with that kind of game. So either way, I think we're in for a big match against the Avalanche. I think it's a winnable game. I'm excited to see what happens in that game, and I'm sure Mosh is going to mention or has mentioned that probably going to see Riddick in the net. So besides that, Charlie, if you'll give me just a moment, and Renegades, if you'll bear with me, I feel like I need to say something about PK Subban. I was very excited to see Subban return to Bridgestone Arena to play against his old team with the Devils, but I'm going to say this. People were booing PK Subban when Puck. And, that just doesn't sit very well with me. I asked for reasons why this might be happening on Twitter, and the best I got was that he was self-centered and that he was a lazy player. And I'm just going to say this. I've never seen PK Subban be lazy. PK Subban played some of his best years. He played his rear end off, and he always was willing to take the heat away from everybody else on the team, which kind of allowed them to just play in anonymity and not draw a lot of attention from the media. But that's just the on-ice stuff. Never mind the fact that he helped the team get to the Stanley Cup final. Never mind that he brought them within 1 or 2 wins of the Stanley Cup championship. It doesn't make sense to me to complain about Subban on the ice. So maybe it's the off-ice stuff, and that doesn't make sense either. I can't think of a player that's had as big of an impact on every community he's played in aside from PK Subban. Look what he did in Montreal, the PK Subban Children's Hospital. Look what he did in Nashville with the Blue Line Buddies program. Look what he's done in New Jersey by taking that program with him while letting it remain in Nashville and now adding healthcare workers into the mix. So what? He's on social media. The league needs that. They need people to be outgoing. They need their players to be to personable and have personalities. If you want to complain about PK Subban being lazy, let's talk about how you're complaining from sitting on your couch. I don't think it's fair. And if all you can criticize him for is laziness, that's lazy criticism yourself. And unlike you, PK Subban is not guilty of that. So, sorry, Charlie. I'm a little bit fired up. Thank you for the time. Renegades, let's have a good game in Colorado.
I told you he had some strong opinions and some things to say. You can find him on Twitter at SCSOTF. If you'd like to respond to anything that Sean had to say right there, reach out. he's always ready to respond. And Sean, I appreciate you bringing the passion, bringing the fire, and bringing the fury right here to the trenches on Renegades of Puck TV. And I can't wait to have you back on the next episode of Renegades of Puck TV. Brian Baston is working on logistics tonight instead of analytics. So, Brian, we miss you running the Renegade Analytics desk and crunching the numbers for us. You've got the numbers we need to know, and you're much better at bringing the math than I am. So we miss you. We hope everything's going all right for you this weekend. The ultimate one, we know you've had a fantastic birthday over the Thanksgiving holiday, so we can't wait to see you back in the trenches and off of IR soon. And K-Perk, you're simply the best. Your memes make the show look so much better, and you bring a lot of good humor and a lot of good comedy to the show. And we need a little bit more of that, apparently, is what I've learned over the Thanksgiving holiday. And I just wanted to, again, say thank you to each and every one of you out there over Thanksgiving. I got some great feedback from some friends, some family, some people in town, some people out of town, and they said a lot of interesting things about the first month of Renegades of Puck TV. But the most important thing they said is they're watching and they're supporting it and they're involved. So each and every one of you, thank you so much for being involved. Thank you for supporting us, and thank you for jumping in the trenches with the Renegades of Puck. I'm your host and captain, Crazy Charlie Saunier. Stick taps, love, respect.